the Fight Week Show. Please subscribe, not now, but right now. Subscribe to the Fight Week Show. We'll see you guys on the road soon.
Hey people, what's going on? What's happening? Fight Week Show people, them. We are live, and this is the episode, the first episode, the pilot of Shakedown, Dust Up, Shakedown. I'm here with my brother Goonie. How you doing, my G?
What's going on, people? What's going on? Goonie's brain is still loading. I'm still buffering. It's 7:03 in the morning out here, but you get me. There's always good time to be talking fight talk. You get me?
Yeah, we're here. We've been talking about this for a minute, and we wanted to bring this to the people. Kind of last week, but some events took place. Man had to do one or two things, you know what I mean? Moving, shaking, and popping. But we're here this week with it. And every Wednesday, we're going to be bringing you an episode of this, barring, some unforeseen circumstances. We're going to be here every Wednesday bringing you all different kind of episodes of Dust Up Shakedown, where we talk about basically current events, what's happening in the combat sport world, in the MMA world, in the fight world. We're going to be talking about those sort of things, reacting to some news, and basically, just giving our takes on a lot of what's going on in the combat world sport. So the topic we was going to bring this up last week, so we might as well start there. UFC 286, Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. We both watched the fight. We did a watch along to it. We both watched the fight. And is your take still the same as the night when you watched the fight, or haven't watched it back and haven't seen a few things here and there? Has your opinion changed? Or
man, I'm still disappointed in Usman, bro. Yeah, obviously, listen, Leon is a fellow British brother. Yeah, and if I'd want anyone to have that title, obviously, I wouldn't mind it being him. But it's 100%. Just that I'm speaking from the perspective of my expectations of both fighters, and I felt that Kamaru fought very much within himself. I thought that he was worried about that right leg again, getting caught with that as he did in the first match. But at the same time, I do think on the balance of things, I think Usman won the fight, but he didn't do enough to take the title, because in combat sports, whether it's even boxing or UFC, they want a clear sort of winner. They don't really, they want to make sure that it's unanimous and you can see blatantly, yeah, this guy's won the title. Otherwise, that they're going to favor the existing champion. And I think that's the problem that Usman had, is he didn't do enough. I felt he fought within his shell, and he could have done more. I reckon he could have done a hell of a lot more to hurt Leon, and he had the opportunities to do so, just didn't take them. So I don't know what's going on there, Ola, brother. I'm still quite disappointed.
I'm kind of with you on this. The one thing that I did expect from Usman coming into this fight, and I said it from a previous, throughout the build up. I know some of Leon's people.
Yeah,
his childhood friend, people who grew up with, people he trains with every day. The lot that helped him prepare for this fight.
Yeah,
and salute to Jamin Lewin, salute to Renegade Jim, all of those guys over there doing the Lord's work over there. But when you look at Leon's preparation for this, it wasn't surprising how, and his tactics, the way I attacked Usman's legs.
Yeah, the inside leg kick. That was his thing the whole fight, bro.
It was his thing the whole fight, and that was to control distance and take away some of the grappling and power that Usman was going to employ. And you could see, obviously, everybody knows. This is no secret. Everyone knows that Usman's got this bad knee, you know what I mean? Where he's walking down the stairs backwards. And so it was really, really good tactics going after them legs. And I think maybe going forward, some fighters might start thinking about it's like a blueprint. We're both football fans, right? We see one manager go and do something and is successful against a team that you don't always get that joy against. Next thing you know, other managers are doing the same tactics.
Yeah, exactly.
They create that blueprint to follow through, so they can get some joy in those sort of games as well. So do you think going forward, do you think Usman's gonna have problems with this? Because Leon still said, even after the fight, that to him, as far as this concerned, and let's face it, Usman's beat everyone in the division. He was going around lapping them. So is Leon. Leon won 11 fights in a row. Like, and he was beating everybody as well. So both of them, to me, had the longest streak of beating everybody in that division. Do you think Usman going around fighting people now, going to go back, trying to lap some of these people to try and gain another shot at the title? Do you think
I don't think it's gonna go as well as what people think, man. But this is just my opinion. But I just thought that the amount of vulnerability that Usman showed in that fight, I think other fighters are gonna smell that. It's like that old saying, man: when sharks smell blood, you already know what time it is. Do you know what I mean? They're gonna go for your weakness and they're gonna exploit it. Usman has to overcome that psychological aspect of getting knocked out by anybody and just fighting his own fight. That's what he was so good at before. Now, I know some people might be thinking, what the hell do you mean by that? You should protect yourself at all times when you're fighting. Yes, 100% agree. But Usman was at a confidence level where it didn't matter what the opposition did. He just trusted in his own skill and it always worked for him. When you start second guessing yourself and your confidence start taking shots, then you start to realize certain things. There's certain openings that start to become available for the other fighter. There's certain patterns that you are no longer doing that used to be effective and now are no longer effective because the other fighter can smell the fear on you or you're not executing these things enough. So I think for him, it's a very, there's no easy division in the UFC. But what I'll say is that for him to go around and try and lap the division again, I really don't think it will go the way he thought it's going to go, honestly.
Age is not even on the side neither, you know what I mean, to do
exactly.
all that run again. Age is not on his side, so he's gonna have to pick his battles very, very wisely moving forward. But let's go on the subject of the backup fighter that was that was booked in case something happened between for Leon, maybe he couldn't make the fight, or for Usman. They had Colby Covington and they kept that very, very quiet. Nobody knew up until the weigh-in day that Colby was there. Not even Leon or Usman knew. None of them had any idea. UFC, I don't know how they kept that fucker quiet. For someone that talks so much shit like Colby,
yeah,
you know what I mean? He did well keeping that shit quiet. But what have you made of the whole him deserving a title shot, considering he hasn't fought since Masvidal, number one? Other fighters have been active in the division, number two. And to throw just that little bit in there as well, Belal has come out and said he only got that opportunity because he's white. Now, Colby said the man of Belal's being racist.
yeah.
Right? And then John Anik is now come back and back Belal, say, hey, listen, Belal ain't lost in 3-4 years. He's beat people like Sean Brady that's got undefeated record in that. He knocked him out and things. Like, so clearly Belal should be at least in line for the title as well, considering he's gone finished business with Leon when Leon was beating him in the first round, then came in with the eye poke. Right, so that fight ended up stopping due to doctor stoppage because of the eye poke. Now, all that situation that I've just broken down for you, what's your take on that whole situation with Colby in the first place?
I really think that he doesn't deserve the title shot. It's quite rightly, like you said, there's been other fighters that have been a lot more active than what Colby has as well. And if I'm completely honest with you, I think the Belal and Edwards fight would be the better fight for me. I'd personally prefer to see that. But you and I both know why Colby got that fight. And I'm going to push the racism to one side because you see, with allegations like that, unless it's blatant, I don't like to put it on people. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for me, I will say allegedly. So if that's what they're saying, allegedly he's racist, then it is what it is. But I don't know if that's the case. But what I'll say is this: we're in the fight business, and when it comes to them pay-per-view tickets, if we're being honest between the two of us, Kobe's gonna lap Bilal by 100 times over, and that's what Dana White and these guys are looking for,
That's
bro.
what they're
At
looking
the end of the day, it's the bottom line. Yeah, the entertainment factor comes second to the UFC. It's what's the most profitable to them, and then what's the most entertaining comes afterwards. Whereas with the fans, it should always be first and foremost. The most entertaining or the most deserving fight should be what comes up every single time. Otherwise, if this trend continues to happen, we're going to see something similar to what we're seeing in boxing. Why I'm not really enjoying it as much as I used to, which is the fights that you're supposed to see either never happen in the time when you want to see them, or they don't happen at all.
I feel
that in the UFC.
We spoke about this before, innit? We spoke about this before, and it's one of the reasons why I really haven't taken to boxing as much as some of my other friends have done, because I don't see the best fighting the best
exactly
consistently, like, all the time. It's something you have to wait 2-3 years to see the best fight the best in boxing, but in MMA you kind of see that a lot more often. And when you look at the Belal and Leon sort of type matchup, and I agree with you what you're saying in terms of how the UFC is looking at it, because these two men are them two men are quiet mans, isn't it?
That's what I mean.
they're not really going to push the needle to try and sell the fight and get bums and sit. And look, we can talk about meritocracy all we want, and I'm all for it. That, for me, that's my first and foremost before I go to the entertainment aspect of it. I like meritocracy, because if you've earned it, you should deserve the shot if you've earned it. And I feel 100%. I feel like Belal has probably earned it way more than Kobe. But like you said, Kobe will say outlandish things. Look how we're talking about him with all the craziness that's going on. He's now threatening Jon Anik and saying, "Hey, I know where you live, bruv. You know what your kids to grow up without a father."
That's it. That's what I mean.
You in Miami here with man, bro. Talk to me about that one.
Yeah, I mean, look, but do you know what? The funny thing is, and I might be wrong, when Kobe was like, when he was first like in the UFC and stuff like that, I don't remember him being as vocal as he has been recently. And it makes me question, is he doing these things under instruction, or is he doing it because, he's looking to become more of a prize fight, or what? Because these are all things that add to your profile.
Right. Let me break that bit down there for you. He was going to get cut. He had a fight in Brazil. That fight there, he knew after that fight they were going to cut him. So he on his post-fight interview, he called Brazilians a bunch of filthy animals, and Brazil is a filthy, filthy place. He just came out with this craziness, and since then, UFC kept him after that fight because the whole of Brazil was going mad. Everybody wanted to see Kobe's ass get
beat up. Yeah,
all the Brazilians were coming after Kobe, and UFC thought, "Oh shit, okay, this guy is gonna done," and he just ran with it ever since. And
I didn't even know.
He's gone on a mad one.
I didn't even know that, bro, and that saved his career. So you see, exactly. So in terms of a business move, he's done it right. But what was we got? I went off on a tangent, my bad. But what was the question again?
It's the whole threatening Jon Anik, and saying about his kids. No, you don't want his kids to grow up without a father. He knows where Jon Anik lives, and he's out there in Miami with him and stuff like that.
I'll be real with you, Ola. I'll be 100% real with you. Like, on a day-to-day basis, if you're as a civilian, that's not something that you go around and say to somebody. Yeah, you could get yourself killed for that if you're not careful, if you meet the wrong person. However, it's like we said, it's the fight business. This is really like the tip of the iceberg compared to some of the stuff that we've heard from fighters. I've heard certain fighters say that they want to eat people's children.
Oh, yeah.
And so on and so forth. So when we're looking at it from that perspective, it's really like the tip of the iceberg, and it's just what you expect. And I know the other fighters just thinking the same. It's just like, yeah, it's all PR at the end of the day. It's all talk. But what matters is what would happen in the ring. Do you know what I mean? Fighters will say anything to you to get you to either take the fight or to rattle you before a fight, or whatever. It's all sports psychology, bruv.
I mean, for me, when you look at it, Jon Anik is one of the most revered commentators in combat sports business. Full stop. Like he's one of the best in the game. Everyone loves him. He don't trouble nobody. Never speaks out of turn to nobody. He don't have a go at nobody. None of that happens with Jon Anik. So when something like this happens, and I see why Colby's done this, because when you go and fight somebody like Leon, that's not really like much of a trash talker. You know what I mean? You need some crazy vocalist like what Colby is to try and sell the fight, like you said. And in this case, saying something like that, everybody would want to, at least, if they don't want Colby to win, they want to see his ass get whooped,
get beaten up.
and
Yeah,
that
exactly.
translates into dollar. It translates into dollars.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you know, and that happening in Miami as well, because I'm hearing that fight there in June, July is probably going to be in Miami. And you know, being in Colby's backyard, Leon having to travel from home all the way over there to try and sort that situation out, because Leon is been kind of campaigning for the Gamebred fight. In your opinion, which one do you think is more deserving of it, Colby or the Masvidal, where you know Masvidal gave Leon the free piece and the soda when it came to Liverpool to fight Darren Till back well, I think that was in 2019, something like that. It's been a few years now when you go back looking at it. But because of that history they got there, do you think that's enough for Masvidal to get, because he hasn't really been active neither?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a good question. Because Masvidal, although he hasn't been active, that wouldn't even be a tune-up fight. It would still, I still think that would be a good fight. But bro, that's a good question. You know, I just you know. The reason why I'd have to go with Colby, because I know he's been the more recently active fighter, and based on that principle, I know it's not much to go off, but I agree with when you say the whole meritocracy thing. I think Masvidal needs to come back, and you know, he needs to build his hype again, because after the Kamaru knockout, again, Masvidal before that was a very feared and revered fighter. Yes, you know what I mean? He's that guy that was famous for knocking out that brother and celebrating.
He won that BMF, innit, with Nate as well.
That's what I mean. So for me, with Masvidal, I need to see more. I need to see him build up his own fight hype. I need to see him have several tune-up fights before taking a fight with the champ Leon Edwards. So I think if I've got to pick between the two, it's got to be Colby. And I also say that as well because I like to see fighters fight in their best condition. And, you know, if Masvidal comes in cold straight away, you're not going to see the best Masvidal against the best Leon Edwards. And you should have that in the title fight.
Yeah, for real. I agree with you. Masvidal now has a fight with Durinho, Gilbert Burns. And that's the crazy thing with the Usman loss. It's kind of changed the landscape of matchmaking at 170. Everything's changed now. Because Usman's now out of the way. He was dominating the division for such a long time, to the point where he was even looking out of the division. He was talking about going to 185. He was talking about fighting what's this Mexican brother, the boxer brother,
was it
Canelo?
Yeah.
He's talking about, you know, fighting Canelo, just talking about stuff that's outside the division, because it's run through the division already and going back round. But now that Leon is the king and is about to start, you know, his reign is probably about to start now, because his chapter with Usman is done. As far as I'm concerned, that chapter done. They fought 3 times. Leon won 2. Usman won the first one. Done. We're moving on, because Usman has to wait now till Leon is not there no more to even have a shot,
bro.
Talking about the title.
I will not lie to you for 1 second. Leon has one big Russian problem. If he thinks he's gonna hold that title for as long as he wants to hold it, he better pray that Islam Makhachev is not following up on what he tweeted. Because remember, we had this conversation. I said to you, there's 2 fighters in this UFC thing that I can see having dominance in their division for a long time. One of them is Islam Makhachev, and the other one is Chimaev. Those 2 guys are built so differently, and you already saw that Makhachev was calling out for Leon Edwards the same night. He was like, F it, let's go. I want that title shot. I deserve it. That would be that one there. I would say if Leon didn't take that challenge immediately, I'd understand, because you're talking about a special type of fighter there, man.
And that's another landscape.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if Usman had still been there, I don't even think Islam will be talking about 170 like that.
Do you think Islam don't want it with Usman like that, though?
No, they have the same manager, Ali Abdulaziz.
Oh, okay,
That's the whole table. All of them man are brothers, bro. Like Justin Gaethje, Henry Cejudo, Islam Makhachev, Khabib, they're all under dominance MMA, right? So they're all managed by the same people. Some of them fight against each other sometimes, and some of them don't. But a lot of them that are really, really close, like Luque, like Vicente Luque and Gilbert Burns, they'll never fight each other.
They won't fight each other.
And they're both managed by the same guy in Ali Abdulaziz. So he's got a lot of these fighters there. And I think if Usman had been there, I don't think Islam would have been eyeballing 170 like that until, say, Usman's out of the way. Now that he's out of the way, he's calling out for it. It's in the same way that Usman weren't really talking about 185 unless, say, Easy was out of the way.
Easy was gone,
then we'd go and look at it. We have the same situation here with Merab and Aljamain Sterling.
And Aljamain,
where,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Where they both had the same coach, they trained the same place, they both had the same people. He don't want to fight Aljamain. Aljamain is not talking about vacating 135, going to 145, and let Merab runs there. So let's go onto the 135 division, because we just seen Corey Sandhagen fight Chito Vera, and in my opinion, Sandhagen just dominated that fight, dominated it, outclassed Chito Vera. Now, Sean O'Malley, who's your guy, your brethren, big up
Sean, fam. I know he's gonna watch this soon, innit? So big up Sean.
To Sean. He came out and gave Corey Sandhagen his flowers. Now, when we look at the 2 people that when we look at the 2 people that beat Petr Yan for this number 1 contender, because when you look at the rankings now, it's Merab number 1, Sean O'Malley number 2. They both want to fight Aljamain Sterling, but Henry Cejudo is now stepped out of the testing pool, come out of retirement, and says he wants to stab at 135 belt. Now, Aljamain's kind of is entertaining it. They've actually made a fight for that to happen on May the 6th with Darushan Oliveira to be the co-main, but it's going to be Cejudo and Aljamain for that. And after that, Aljamain is looking to go up to 135. I mean to 145. So your boy Sean O'Malley, where do you think he goes next? Do you think he should have like an interim title fight with Merab? Do you think he should look at Corey Sandhagen? Do you think he should try and get back that loss against Chito Vera, because he did lose to Chito Vera when he had that peroneal nerve that Chito Vera hit him in the leg with that dropped him, and it finished him that way. How do you see that 135 landscape? Let's talk about bantamweight now.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? What I'm looking at is obviously Aljamain. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think of all the fighters, I think he doesn't want it with Sean out of the rest of them. I think he's the one that he don't want it with. I think he's gonna try and slip that one there. But that's not to say that Merab's a dickhead. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. But that's not to say that he's a dickhead. But bro, it's like he said, bro, this division's interesting, man. This is because I haven't thought about the question. So now I'm thinking about it in my head. I'm just thinking about all the options that are available here.
There's so many fights. And we're not even talked about Rob Font or Adrian Yanez that's coming up as well.
Exactly. But you know, as much as I love Sean, and like I say, he's gonna be watching this. Yeah. He's got to get that stain off his record, fam. And I've said that to him before. I've said, bro, you gotta get your stain off your record, fam. Do you know what I mean? He didn't respond to nothing. He just kind of was like, yeah, you know. Yeah, so
yeah, because he didn't even recognize that loss. He didn't count that loss. He didn't even count it as any. It's like the fight never took place. He didn't acknowledge it. He didn't do nothing.
Yeah,
it was kind of weird to a lot of people. People were thinking, bro, what is this? It's like that wasn't even a loss, bro. That man, they didn't beat me.
That's what I'm saying. But it's like this guy Snoopy Triple G saying Sugar Sean is still young and he's got that advantage on that top three. Because listen, and another thing that goes in Sean's advantage is the fact that he's an entertainer. Do you know what I mean? He has this ability to entertain with his fighting style. You already see how he comes out with all of his flashy, colorful hair and things like that. He's a prize fighter. He's somebody that can draw a main event 100%. So I think all those things there are going to work in his favor. I definitely think he needs to get that stain off his record. Whether Aljamain will take that fight over, one of the others, I have no idea. I don't know, fam. I don't know, but I think, and I'm not saying it because he's my guy, but I think that's the last fight that Aljamain wants,
Boy, I mean, I look at that. I look at that division. That division is, for me, that's my favorite division in the whole of the roster. Then 155, and that's just down to the difficulty of navigating that division. Everyone in the top 15 are killers. I mean, everyone in the top 15 are killers, bro. Like they're so fast, they're quick with it. You see what was going on with Cody Garbrandt. He got to one point. Cody Garbrandt he didn't know where he wanted to be. Should I go back to 125? Got dealt with back there, come back to 130. It weren't really looking like that division is so tough. It's so tough to deal with because so many fighters over there. They just killers over there. But for me, Sean, I think Sean, at the very least, obviously he's got the ranking now for number 2. I think at the very least needs to get that win back against Chito,
100%,
or go and fight Merab for the interim while waiting for the result between
Aljamain
and Henry Cejudo. I think that division is about to come alive, man. And people are beating Petr Yan. Petr Yan is getting dealt with left, right, and center. Is losing fights. It's only like this guy was a champion, and now he's on a 2-fight losing streak. One more, you know how UFC are.
It's unheard of. Them things there don't really happen. But and UFC, they're ruthless as well, bro. The proper, so it's a mad thing. It's definitely one of the more entertaining divisions, 100%, bro.
Yeah, man. I really love that division. That division is absolutely brilliant. Let's talk about the next pay-per-view that we got coming up, and we're going to be doing a watch along for these people. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We're going to be doing a watch along for the Easy versus Pereira fight that's coming up on the 8th of April. Easy is come out saying we know that in the kickboxing, in his kickboxing days, he's had this fight with Alex Pereira. Pereira's beat him twice in glory. He's come to the UFC. Obviously, one of the reasons why Pereira got fast-tracked is so that fight would not go away, right? Yeah. And I'm gonna break it down a little bit more as we talk about this fight. But this very fight here is the reason why UFC fast-tracked Pereira, because Pereira only saw 3 fights before he before he got to Easy. Like they just gave him 3 quick fights that they feel he can finish to get to someone like Easy. And it got there
quickly, man.
And it was a quick fast track. But again, he did what he always did against Easy and found a way to beat him. Some people call it early stoppage. I've gone back and look at it because my reaction on the night it was like, that stoppage was a little bit early. But when you go back and look at it, I thought, okay, that was a correct stoppage because the way Easy was moving and bobbing and that, Pereira was connecting. It was, we were just delaying the inevitable. But let's not forget at the end of the first round, if Easy had maybe 5-10 seconds, he would have got Pereira out of there because he had him on skates.
No,
So
100%.
now going into this fight, Easy's talking about, look, I don't care about the belt. I don't care about nothing. I don't care about the money. I just want to beat this guy. I just want one win against this guy, because every single fight that I've beat him in, that I've fought him in, I've been that close to getting him out of there. Then some crazy turnaround happens and he gets me. Now, do you think that kind of psyche, that kind of could that be taking Easy away from, say, the focus of fighting the actual fight, rather than him wanting to beat him so bad, could override his mindset so mad that he might lose focus of what's really important here?
Izzy's another funny one, bro. Izzy's a bit of a funny one for me. Again, I respect him. I respect him, the airbender, the style bender, my brother, you get me? I respect it. But I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna cast your memory back to a fight where I saw Izzy a little different, and I think we might see a similarity in this. Think back to the Yoel fight. When a lot of it was slipping and sliding and a lot of defense. Now, what I remember from the Pereira fight, the first Pereira fight, is that Pereira's strike volume was mad. His volume of strikes was crazy. Now, I'm thinking that we might see Israel be, again, a little bit more defensive than what we're used to in terms of his fighting. We might even see something. Well, I'm not going to compare it to the Usman thing, but the concept is still the same. I'm just worried that because he's already held the L to this man, that he might fight within himself again. Because sometimes fighters, they think by doing that it's more of an insurance. They think it's going to be a lot more clear cut if they're not too worried about holding too many strikes, this, that, and the other. But he needs to remember it's now a different situation. He's no longer holding the belt no more. He's got to do a hell of a lot more to unanimously prove to them judges that he deserves that belt. So it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. Now, I'm not comparing Pereira and Joel, their fight styles being the same, but it's just that psychological factor of holding that L. I don't know how Izzy's going to receive that or react to that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, look, it's a tough fight for Izzy, and this is the crazy part of it. You know, when a fighter's got your number, he's just got your number.
That's the problem, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I reckon, and this is not doing MMA maths, right? I reckon some of the fighter that Izzy's beaten along the way, and probably could still beat again,
yeah,
would be Pereira.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all, bro.
It's crazy. It's so mad. But like when a fighter's just got your number, we've seen it time and time again. We see it with Rose Namajunas, with Carla Esparza. Esparza. Just look at the way Zhang Weili just dispatched of
Weili,
Esparza.
yeah.
But Esparza got Rose Namajunas' number. But Rose Namajunas then beat Zhang Weili twice. Like, it's crazy the way the fight game works. And for me, I feel like Izzy is in a precarious situation as well, where losing to Pereira, for the fourth time in all competitions, because we might just want to look at UFC, but psychologically, they counting everything. Them two, man, they're the ones in there.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
Counting everything. They're counting all of what happened in kickboxing, in Glory, and what's happening in UFC. Everything is getting counted up. And Izzy, I don't know if he loses stock, if his stock drops from if he loses this fight. I don't know if he loses stock through it, but I don't know, man. I just feel like Pereira's got his. I feel like Pereira's got his number.
He's got his number.
It's a strange one, and I love Izzy. Like, I want him to win this fight so bad, and I want him to win it so bad.
Yeah, so do I.
So bad, but that could be the downfall of the whole thing. Wanting it that bad.
No, I agree. I want Izzy to win that, but there's a thin line between desperation and and composure, because it's like you said, it's that desperation that's going to lead you to make more mistakes. And as a fighter, a lot of that comes down to your composure, waiting for openings and taking them opportunities. When you're moving wild, you're not at your best. So I don't know. I want Izzy to win it. It would be a great piece of, just as an Izzy fan, bro, it would just be great to see him get some kind of vengeance over the fight, over Pereira. But I have to agree with you, and especially in the fight game as well, because I'm sure, growing up, you've had a couple fights. Do you know what I mean? And you know what it's like. Me, I've won fights, I've lost fights, yeah. And you know what it's like when you've beat up somebody and then they're trying to go for you again. You've already won up here. Do you know what I mean? So imagine losing 3 previous times to this guy, or however many previous times, and you're going into this. I don't know, bruv. I don't know.
Man said, boy, I don't give a fuck about the title. I don't care about the money. Like, he will fight this fight for free.
Yeah, I mean? Yeah, he wants it bad. So
man say, listen, I could be 60 years old. If this man keeps beating me up, I'm gonna knock on his door with my Zimmer frame, and I want that fade again. Like, this is the thing that Izzy's talking about, bro.
Yeah, you got to respect it though. You definitely have to respect it, because look, how many fighters have we seen get dealt with by one fighter and they never want to go back for a second? Or do you know what I mean? This guy wants to keep going back for more, and that to me just shows he's a great fighter, bro. Because it's more than just his ego. It's just like he wants to know why. What is it about this guy? Yeah, maybe after this certain amount of time with the extra bit of experience that I've got, maybe now I'm ready to fight this guy. That's what I like to see from fighters, bro. Like, just because you lose, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the road for you. Like, you can still come back and gain your respect. Do you know what I mean? Everybody's a professional in the ring. No shame in losing to anybody. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'd love to see him. I'd love to see him get his revenge. It'd be nice to see that, bro.
Yeah, man. Like, good way to job Capone. Capone says, salute to Capone, man. Capone's crazy, man. He loves fucking winding me the fuck up. Like, you know what I mean? Talking about Guinea-Bissau and shit, bro. This is Ask Goonie, Ghanaian jollof or Nigerian jollof.
Oh, come on,
Let's
bro.
see what he says.
That's the easy answer, fam. I love my Ghanaians, but Nigerian jollof wins all day long, bro.
Yeah, you see it there, Capone. Stop playing, man. You know
there's no comparison, man. But what I do love about Ghanaians, before you lot start coming for my neck, yeah, I like my omotuo. You see that peanut soup? Boy, my friend, I love it. Come on, big up my Ghanaians.
Yeah, man. Big up yourself, Capone, man. I see Ian McCollum in the chat. Salute to you, Snoopy Triple G. Big up yourself, Chelsea OG, Naz. Everybody in the chat, hit the like button. Salute to all of you, man. This is the first show of this type that we're doing, and we're going to bring you one of these to you every Wednesday. Me and Goonie, where we just sit down, we break down all the news in the MMA and combat sport world, and we just give our takes on it, and especially get Goonie's takes on a lot of this as well. So big up to all of you in the chat, man. Thank you for joining us so early. This is early for Goonie where he lives. He's the way 20 to 8 right now.
20 to 8 right now. Yeah,
in the morning. You know what I mean? So big up to Goonie as well for stepping up and doing this with us. I want to talk about Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is you can't talk about combat sport and not talk about Conor. The way Conor's moving, like Conor's come out bragging about how he sidestepped USADA. You know what I mean? So there's this thing. All right, let me break down the whole USADA thing for you. Yeah. If you announce retirement, right? And you want to come back into fighting, you gotta get in at least 6 months into the testing pool, give up 2 clean tests before USADA can approve you to get back to fighting again. Which Cejudo, a lot of other fighters that's come out of retirement, they've all had to do the same thing. So when Conor's leg broke from that fight there with Dustin Poirier, again, he had to come out of the testing pool, basically declare retirement, come out of the testing pool, obviously to get himself better and stuff like that. And basically Conor's out here bragging how he's full USADA. He's gonna be fighting Chandler at the end of this Ultimate Fighting the Ultimate Fighter series that's going on right now. They're currently recording, or they probably just finished recording. By the end of the month, they're going to finish recording it. Right? So, Conor's right. Basically, he's got a special exemption. The UFC can waive USADA under a special circumstances exemption. Now, do you think it's a good look for the UFC and Conor waving that thing? And Conor's just running his mouth, and fighters are getting pissed off with it. People like Benil Dawush say,
yeah,
bullshit, man. You know what I mean? This type of thing. What's your take on this whole Conor USADA thing and jumping back into the fight game?
Honestly, I don't think they should waive the process, because it sets a dangerous standard, because now it's going to be like, well, why have you given him a reason to waive that? Why? Because he's fighting Conor McGregor. Is this what we're doing now for our prize fighters? Just because they're prize fighters and the highest earners, we're just breaking like the foundational rules of this thing. Because these things, these tests, you and I both know, they're both put there for the fighter's safety. Yeah, to make sure that the other person ain't using something that they're not supposed to be using, that could be, because that's what I'm saying. Fighting to as controlled as we see it between us, we all
all about that anyway, FFP and shit, man.
Yeah, exactly. But but listen, with as controlled as fighting is fine margins between something irreversible can happen to a human being. So we've got to respect those things that are put in place. So I think it would set a very dangerous precedent, unless they do something where they say this rule can only apply for retired fighters that are not continually repeating and still within their career. Then I might understand that a little bit, because obviously you're operating outside of the parameters of the actual league itself. So with that, between two grown retired fighters, you can sort of understand it. But if we're setting this and saying this can apply to all, across the whole board, I think it's a terrible, terrible idea.
100%. I agree with you. I think the only problem here, and I don't know how many people know this, but the only problem here is people don't realize that Conor McGregor is not a UFC employee. He's actually a partner. He bought his contract out when he had that fight with Mayweather.
Okay.
Mayweather gave him the blueprint. We spoke about blueprint earlier on. Give him the blueprint, how to buy yourself out of the thing. He's now a partner. He actually advertises his own product on the show and on the canvas as well. When you look at the canvas, you see proper 12 on there.
He's winning. Yeah, he's winning.
So he's winning, man, and he can call this. He can call all the type of shots that nobody else in the UFC can call.
Yeah,
he can call them kind of shots because he's a partner rather than an employee. And he's actually come out bragging that all of you fighters that run in your mouth, you all put money in my pocket. You know what I mean? I'm your father.
Yeah, and there's already enough controversy in terms of what UFC fighters are getting paid anyway. Do you know what I mean? But that's a whole conversation for another day. But
oh yeah. There's gonna be time we're gonna touch upon that. But let's touch upon this last topic. I'm very, very time conscious because I know some of the things that you've got to do this morning. So thank you very much for that. We're gonna jump on this last topic, and this last topic we're gonna talk about on this episode.
Yeah.
Paulo Costa is just signed a 4-fight UFC deal, and he wants Hamza Chimaev before. He wants Chimaev, bro. Like, Bohachina is crazy. Paulo Costa, I love that guy.
Me too.
You know what I mean? And the guy that he's calling now, I love him too. Hamza. What's that fight even? What's that fight saying to you? What are you reading about that fight? And I think the press conference is going to be crazy. There's some fights that I like that I don't even care about the fight itself. I just want to see the press conference. This is one of them. What are you thinking on this one, brother?
Bro, it's gonna be entertaining. Yeah, you already know. You see why I love Chimaev is because he's consistent. His vocabulary is so limited, respectfully, but he just keeps it the same. I want to smash. I don't care. I don't care. 2 fights, 3 fights in one night. I want to smash. I love the guy, bro. But you see Paulo Costa's last fight? What stood out to me so much? His cardio is poor, bro. His cardio is horrible. And when you got bad cardio and you're going up with somebody who can wrestle like Chimaev, it's a long night for you.
It's a long night, man.
Yeah, I don't think this is the fight that you should really be coming back to. 1 or 2 tune-ups, yeah, before you get Chimaev, get your fitness up. I understand. But you see, the thing is, with body structure like Paulo Costa, he is a muscly big dude. Oxygen circulation isn't as efficient in comparison with somebody who's like Kazmat, you know what I mean? But yo, I don't know. I don't think this is a good fight for Paulo Costa to be walking into. I honestly think it's a terrible idea.
I definitely think Paulo Costa needs somebody like Sean Strickland to fight first. You know, somebody that's not really going to wrestle him. He's going to stand there. And that last fight he had with Luke Rockhold, I don't know if you remember that. Like Luke Rockhold,
I remember. It was
kissing him up and everything in the grappling. It was so crazy, bro. I've never seen some crazy shit like that.
It was a good fight.
Yeah, that was a fucking good fight. That was a brilliant fight between those two. And Luke Rockhold is a very, very good grappler as well. You know what I mean? He's not to be messed with in the grappling department, because he trains with people like Daniel Cormier, Khabib. You know, AKA he trains with in AKA with Islam and them man there. You know what I mean? He's always in the gym with them, man. Cain Velasquez. Some of the top grapplers in the game.
Yeah.
He trains with those man. So I think it's a good test fighting somebody like Rockhold. This probably what's giving him confidence to be calling out somebody like Chimaev. Like, okay, if I could stay in there with somebody like Rockhold that's got really, really good grappling, maybe I can stand it with someone like Chimaev. But I don't know, like you said, I don't know if that's a good idea, man. Not straight away. Maybe try someone like Sean Strickland. You know what I mean? See where you're at with that, and then come back.
Honestly, like, when we're talking grappling and ground game and ground control, when you're talking your Chimaevs, your Makachevs, they're the best of the best at it, bro. Absolute best of the best.
100%.
Even where you don't see the opening for the takedowns or the swipes, they just get them, bro. Every time. And the thing is what they understand better than most other fighters, they understand body momentum heavy. I've heard them speak about it, and they say they understand once they feel that small shift in weight in your movement, boom, you're done.
Yeah.
That's it.
And their understanding of chain wrestling as well. Because they're 2-3 moves ahead of you. They're in this move, but your body movement, like you just said, and your body weight shifting and all of that is dictating the next 2-3 moves that they're going to use on you, that you know already, you're not even thinking about yet. You're struggling to get out of the one that you're in. They already know where they're going to put you in the next 2 to 3 moves.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's the great thing with these guys. You know, speaking to someone like John Gooden on this show, big up to John Gooden. He went in there and and done a little bit of grappling with Chimaev, and he said he felt like his life was in Chimaev's hand, and he could just squeeze it like that and be done with it. You know what I mean?
I don't even want to think about being in that situation, because with a man like Chimaev as well, you know, he loves that. He loves to see you in that pain.
He said the man loved him squirming. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. And he said the more he squirmed, the more he held on to him. Like, brother,
that's what I'm saying. No,
where you going, brother?
There. You don't want it with them.
Oh my God. Hey, people, we have come to the end of the show. This is the very first episode, the pilot show, and to me, it's gone well, it's gone all right. And big up to everybody that's joined us for it. Salute to Goonie as well, that's joined us for it with 48 minutes in. And I think we talked about quite a number of things, and there's going to be more topics that we're going to be bringing in. So people, send in your topics. If you know, whatever topics that you want us to touch on the next episode, send them in. Go and check us out on our socials. You can either send it to me. You can either send it to Goonie United on Instagram, TFWS official, the Fight Week Show official on Instagram. You can check me on there. On Twitter, Black Scorpion 3. Go and check us on all our socials on there, and send in your questions, things that you want us to talk about in the next episode, and we're gonna try and break those down. Goonie, thank you so much for reaching for this episode. Now we know we had to get you up early
Hey,
for this one, man. Big up to you, my bro.
Before we lock off the stream, I need to know where to get that hoodie from, and I need to know where to get that hat from.
All right. This hoodie and this hat right here, you can get on www.thefightweekshow.com. Go on our web, it's right there on our website. I'm going to put it on the ticker. It's going right down the bottom on there. www.thefightweekshow.com.
I'm gonna need the merch because this year I've said to myself and I said to the missus as well, like, you know, I want to actually go and watch some live UFC fights. I've got Madison Square Garden over here. Miami is just literally down the road. In fact, my missus works in Miami, so it's easy for me to make that happen. So yeah, we've got to do that with the fight show merch and all that stuff. You get me?
Yeah, man. We're gonna put something together, man. We're gonna put something together for you. I'm big up to you, big up to everybody that's joined us for this show. You lot have been fantastic. And up onto the next show, people. Hasta la vista, man. We're out.
Gareth Southgate out.
Yo, guys, this is Adrian Yanez telling you to use those handles. Hit, click, like,